The alien woman named Zara stood frozen in the doorway of the small coffee shop. Her purple skin shimmered under the warm earth lights as she watched the human woman sip her drink. Zara had been studying human mating customs for 3 standard cycles now, but she never expected to feel such strange emotions when observing them. Zara was a scientist from the planet Viridia. Her people were known across the galaxy for their logical minds and advanced technology. They had discovered Earth just 7 years ago and established peaceful contact. The humans were fascinating to the Viridians with their strong emotions and unpredictable behaviors. Zara had volunteered to come to Earth as part of the cultural exchange program. Her mission was simple: study human relationships and report back to her people about how humans formed bonds. Viridians chose mates based on genetic compatibility and resource sharing, but humans seemed to choose based on something they called love. Zara found this concept both confusing and intriguing. The coffee shop was her favorite observation spot. Humans gathered here to talk, to share food, and sometimes to form romantic connections. She had been watching the brown-haired woman for several days now. The human female came every morning, ordered the same drink, and sat by the window reading from a small electronic device. Today something was different. The human woman looked up and noticed Zara staring. She smiled and waved her over. This was unusual. Most humans still kept their distance from the Viridian visitors. Zara approached carefully, her 4 eyes blinking in sequence, a sign of nervousness in her species. The translator device attached to her neck hummed softly as she prepared to speak. "Hello," the human woman said. "My name is Kate. I see you here often." Zara nodded her head in the human greeting style. "I am Zara of the Science Guild from Viridia. I have been observing human social interactions for my research." Kate smiled wider, showing her teeth, a gesture that had initially frightened Zara until she learned it was friendly. "So am your research subject?" Zara felt her skin flush deep indigo with embarrassment. "I did not mean to make you uncomfortable. I can leave." No, Kate said quickly. "I think it's interesting. I don't mind helping you with your research. Would you like to sit down?" Zara folded her long limbs into the chair across from Kate, careful not to knock anything over with her tail. Viridians were taller than most humans, with 4 arms, 2 legs, and a thin tail for balance. Their skin ranged from light blue to deep purple depending on their mood and bloodline. Zara was royal purple, a rare color among her people. "What would you like to know about humans?" Kate asked, sipping her drink. Zara tilted her head. "What is that liquid you are consuming?" Kate held up her cup. "Coffee. It's made from beans that grow here on Earth. It helps humans wake up and feel more alert in the morning. Would you like to try some?" Zara had been warned about consuming human food, but her curiosity won out. She reached for the cup with one of her upper arms. Her fingers were longer than human fingers, with small suction cups at the tips for better grip. She took a small sip and immediately regretted. The bitter liquid burned her sensitive tongue. She quickly handed the cup back as her skin turned bright blue with shock. "How can you drink that?" Kate laughed, a sound that made Zara feel strangely warm inside. "It's an acquired taste. Most humans add sugar and milk to make it less bitter. I like mine black, though strong and pure." Zara made notes in her digital recorder. "Humans consume bitter substances for pleasure." Interesting. They talked for hours, Kate explaining human customs and Zara sharing information about Viridia. Kate worked as a teacher at the local school, teaching young humans about science. Zara found this fascinating, since education on Viridia was conducted through direct neural downloads, not verbal instruction. When the sun began to set, Kate looked at her timepiece. "I should go home now, but this was fun. We should meet again." Zara felt an unfamiliar flutter in her secondary heart system. "Yes, I would like that. My research would benefit from further discussions." Kate wrote something on a small paper and handed it to Zara. "Here is my communication code. Call me tomorrow if you want." Zara carefully took the paper. Their fingers touched briefly, and Zara felt a small electric shock run through her body. This was not in any of the research materials she had studied. She watched Kate leave the coffee shop, her human body moving with a grace that Zara had not noticed before. Back in her small apartment provided by the Viridian Embassy, Zara recorded her observations from the day she should report this direct contact with a human subject to her supervisor, but something made her hesitate. This felt different, personal. She decided to wait and gather more data before filing an official report that night as Zara entered her sleep cycle. Her dreams were filled with images of Kate smiling and the strange warm feeling that came with it. She woke confused. Her species rarely dreamed, and when they did, it was usually about complex equations or scientific breakthroughs, not about other beings. Zara looked at the paper with Kate's communication code. She had memorized it already but kept the paper as a physical reminder of their meeting. Tomorrow she would call Kate and arrange another meeting for research purposes, only she told herself. But deep inside her logical mind, a small spark of something new had begun to glow. Something that felt dangerously close to what humans called emotion. The next morning, Zara paced in her apartment, her forearms moving in different patterns as she tried to calm her nerves. She had never felt this way before. Meeting a human. For research was one thing, but this felt different. She checked her appearance. In the mirror, her purple skin was glowing slightly. A sign of excitement that she tried to suppress. Viridians prided themselves on emotional control. Zara used the communication code Kate had given her. The small device projected a holographic screen, and after a few moments, Kate's face appeared smiling. "You called," she said. "I was hoping you would." Zara felt her secondary heartbeat faster. "I would like to continue our discussion about human customs if you are available." Kate nodded. "Of course would. You like to meet somewhere other than the coffee shop? I could show you more of how humans live." This was perfect for her research, but Zara felt nervous for reasons she could not explain. "I would find that acceptable." They agreed to meet at the city park in 1 hour. Zara dressed carefully in clothes that would help her blend in with humans, though her purple skin and forearms made complete blending impossible. She chose a loose flowing top and pants that accommodated her tail. She applied a special cream to reduce the glow of her skin. The park was filled with humans enjoying the warm day. Some played games throwing discs to each other or to four-legged animals. Zara had learned were called dogs. Others sat on blankets eating food from containers. Children ran and screamed in what Zara had determined was joy, not pain. Kate waved from a bench near a small pond. She wore a simple dress, and her hair was loose around her shoulders. Zara thought she looked quite aesthetically pleasing, though this observation was not relevant to her research. "Thanks for meeting me," Kate said as Zara sat beside her. "This is one of my favorite places in the city." Zara looked around, noting the various human activities. "What is the purpose of this space?" Kate thought for a moment. "It's a place where humans can connect with nature and with each other. We need that, especially in cities. Somewhere to relax and just be." The concept of a space dedicated to relaxation was foreign to Viridia, where every location had a specific productive purpose. "This is very different from my world," she admitted. "Tell me about your planet." Kate said, genuine interest in her eyes. Zara had not expected this. Usually humans only asked superficial questions about Viridia. "Viridia is a planet with 3 moons and rings similar to your Saturn. Our cities are built both above and below ground to maximize space efficiency. We have no parks, as you would understand them. Recreation is scheduled during specific times and takes place in designated facilities." "Do you miss it?" Kate asked. The question caught Zara off guard. Viridians did not typically experience homesickness. They were trained from birth to adapt to new environments. "I find Earth interesting," she said finally. "It is more chaotic than Viridia, but there is beauty in the chaos." They walked through the park, Kate pointing out different plants and explaining their names. Zara recorded everything in her device but found herself more interested in watching Kate's expressions as she talked than in the actual information. A small human child ran up to them, stopping suddenly when he saw Zara. His eyes widened. "Are you really an alien?" he asked, before Zara could respond. Kate knelt down to the child's level. "Yes. She comes from a planet called Viridia. Isn't that cool?" The child nodded his head vigorously. "Do you have a spaceship?" Zara blinked her 4 eyes in sequence. I arrived on a diplomatic vessel, but I do not personally own a spaceship. The child looked disappointed, but Kate laughed. Maybe next time she can tell you about the stars she's visited. Would you like that? The child smiled and nodded, then ran back to his parents, who were watching nervously from a distance. You are good with young humans, Zara observed. Kate shrugged. I teach third grade, so I spend my days with children. They aren't afraid of differences the way adults are. They just see it as interesting, not scary. This gave Zara an idea. Would it be possible for me to visit your teaching place? I am interested in how humans educate their young. Kate's face lit up. That would be amazing. The children would love it. I need to get permission from the school. But I think they would agree. It's part of cultural exchange after all. They spent the rest of the day walking and talking. Zara learned about human food, music, and art. Kate was patient, explaining concepts that were foreign to Viridian culture. By the time the sun began to set, Zara had filled her recording device with notes, but felt she had barely scratched the surface of understanding humans or understanding Kate. As they stood to leave, Kate hesitated, then asked, Would you like to come to my home for dinner tomorrow? I could cook you something mild that won't hurt your digestive system. Zara knew she should consult with her supervisor before entering a human home, but the words came out before she could stop them. Yes, I would like that. Kate wrote her home location on another piece of paper. Come around sunset, she said. I look forward to it. Zara watched her walk away, feeling confused by her own reactions. This was no longer just research. She was developing what humans would call feelings for Kate. This was not in the mission parameters. Viridians were not supposed to form emotional attachments to research subjects. That night, Zara received a message from her supervisor requesting a progress report. She sent the factual data she had collected but omitted her personal interactions with Kate. She told herself this was to protect the integrity of her research, but deep down she knew it was because she wanted to keep Kate to herself. As she prepared for sleep cycle, Zara found herself thinking about Kate's smile, the way her eyes crinkled at the corners when she laughed, the gentle way she had spoken to the child. Her dreams that night were vivid, filled with images of Kate showing her more human customs, some involving physical closeness that made Zara wake with her skin glowing bright purple. Zara was beginning to understand what humans called attraction, and it terrified her. The next day, Zara visited the Viridian embassy to speak with the medical officer. She needed to know which human foods were safe for her to eat. The medical officer, a tall, blue-skinned Viridian named Krell, looked at her with suspicion. You are dining with a human, he stated, not asked. Zara kept her skin tone neutral to hide her emotions. It is for research purposes. I need to observe human eating rituals. Krell did not seem convinced, but provided a list of foods that would not harm her. Viridian digestive system. Avoid their spices, he warned, especially the ones they call pepper and chili. They could cause severe reactions. Also limit your consumption of their fermented beverages. Zara thanked him and left quickly before he could ask more questions. She spent the day researching human dining customs, learning that bringing a gift was customary. She stopped at a shop that sold plants and purchased something called a succulent. The shopkeeper assured her it was easy to care for and appropriate. As a gift, as sunset approached, Zara felt increasing anxiety. She had changed her outfit 3 times, finally settling on a simple dress that accommodated her forearms. She applied minimal glow suppression cream, deciding that hiding her natural appearance completely would be dishonest. Kate's home was small by Viridian standards, but Zara found it pleasant. It had many windows allowing natural light to enter, and was decorated with colorful fabrics and images on the walls. There were many plants throughout, the space making it feel alive. Kate greeted her at the door wearing different clothes than earlier. Her hair was pulled back and she smelled of something sweet. Thank you for coming, she said, taking the small plant from Zara. Oh, a succulent. How thoughtful. The home contained many objects Zara did not recognize. She pointed to a device with strings. What is this object? Kate smiled. It's a guitar, a musical instrument. She picked it up and demonstrated, running her fingers over the strings, producing sounds that Zara found strangely pleasing. I play sometimes when I'm feeling happy or sad or just need to think. Music on Viridia was mathematical, precise. Listening to Kate play was different. The sounds were imperfect, but conveyed feelings Zara could not name. "Would you teach me?" she asked, surprised by her own request. Kate looked delighted. "Of course, but first let's eat. I made something special." The dining area contained a small table set with dishes and what Kate called candles, small sticks that produced fire and scent. Kate explained that candles were used to create atmosphere for special meals. Zara did not mention that on Viridia, creating uncontained fire indoors would trigger emergency protocols. The meal consisted of a dish Kate called pasta, with a simple sauce, vegetables, and bread. Zara tried each item carefully, surprised by the pleasant tastes and textures. Viridian food was nutritionally balanced but designed for efficiency, not pleasure. This human food was different, each bite providing new sensations. Kate asked questions about Viridian culture, seeming genuinely interested in the answers Zara found herself sharing, more than she had intended, speaking of her childhood, her scientific training, and her surprise at being selected for the Earth mission. "I was not the most qualified candidate," Zara admitted. "I think my supervisor chose me because I had shown more curiosity about humans than is typical for our species." Kate smiled. "That curiosity is a good thing. It's what brings different people together. What makes us learn and grow." After the meal, Kate taught Zara how to hold the guitar. The instrument was not designed for someone with 4 arms, but they found a way to make it work. The sounds Zara produced were discordant, but Kate encouraged her. "You're doing great for a first try," she said. "It's all about practice." As the night grew late, Zara knew she should leave but found herself reluctant to end their time together. Kate seemed to feel the same, hesitating at the door. "This was nice," she said. "We should do it again." Zara agreed, feeling a warm sensation spreading through her body when Kate suddenly moved closer and pressed her lips briefly against Zara's cheek. "It's called a kiss." Kate explained, her face turning red. "A way humans show affection. I hope that wasn't too." Forward, Zara touched the spot where Kate's lips had been. "On Viridia, we do not touch often," she said. "Our nervous systems are sensitive." Kate stepped back. "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable." "No," Zara said quickly. "It was not unpleasant, just new." They said goodbye with promises to meet again soon. As Zara walked back to her apartment, she replayed the kiss in her mind. Her research had mentioned human kissing, but experiencing it was entirely different. She should document this, but found herself keeping this memory private, not for her research but for herself. Over the next few weeks, Zara and Kate spent increasing amounts of time together. Zara visited Kate's school and answered questions from the young humans who showed no fear, only curiosity. She learned to play simple songs on the guitar. She tried more human foods and discovered a preference for something called chocolate. Kate learned about Viridian customs too. She practiced the formal greeting gestures and tried to learn some words in Zara's native language. Though her pronunciation made Zara laugh, Kate never seemed embarrassed by her mistakes. One evening, as they walked along the river that ran through the city, Kate asked a question that caught Zara off guard. "Do Viridians fall in love?" Zara considered how to answer. "We form attachments based on compatibility. We choose mates who will produce genetically superior offspring, or who have complementary skills for resource gathering. We do not have a concept equivalent to your human love." Kate looked disappointed. "Oh, I see." Zara felt a strange need to continue. "But since coming to Earth, I have observed that what humans call love seems to be a complex mixture of biological responses, emotional attachments, and conscious choices. It is more complicated than our scientists believed." "And what do you think about it now?" Kate asked, her voice soft. Zara stopped walking and turned to face Kate. "I think I am experiencing something similar," she admitted, her skin glowing bright purple with emotion. "When I am with you, I feel things I cannot explain with science. My body responds in ways that are not logical. I think about you when we are not together. I want to make you happy. These are not Viridian traits." Kate reached out slowly, giving Zara time to move away if she wished. She placed her hand against Zara's cheek. That sounds a lot like love to me. Later that night in her apartment, Zara received an urgent message from her supervisor. A delegation from Viridia would be arriving in one standard week. They wished to review her research and meet with some humans to evaluate the cultural exchange program. Zara felt sudden panic. What would they think of her relationship with Kate? Would they remove her from Earth and send another researcher in her place? The thought of leaving Kate was unexpectedly painful. She needed to be careful. The delegation must not know how much she had changed, how much she had begun to feel. They would not understand. They might even see it as contamination. The next day, Zara met with Kate at their usual coffee shop. Her skin was a dull purple, showing her worry. Kate noticed immediately. What's wrong? She asked, reaching across the table to touch Zara's hand. Zara looked around to make sure no other Viridians were present. A delegation from my planet is coming next week, she said, keeping her voice low. They will review my research and the cultural exchange program. Kate smiled. That sounds important. You must be excited to see others from your world. Zara shook her head slightly. They will notice the changes in me. Viridians can sense emotional states in others of our kind. They will know I have developed feelings. They will see it as contamination. Kate withdrew her hand, hurt showing on her face. Is that what this is to you? Contamination, no, Zara said quickly, her skin flushing bright purple with emotion. That is how they will see it. But I see it as growth, as learning, as something beautiful. What will happen? Kate asked. Zara lowered all four of her eyes, a sign of sadness. They might send me back to Viridia for reconditioning. They will certainly assign a different researcher to replace me. Kate's face showed determination. Then we need a plan. If your people value logic, we need to show them the logical benefits of emotional connection. Over the next few days, they prepared. Kate helped Zara organize her research notes, highlighting the scientific insights she had gained through her close interaction with humans. They carefully framed their relationship as a successful cultural exchange experiment. Zara practiced controlling her skin color to hide her emotions, a skill she had neglected since becoming close to Kate. The day before the delegation was due to arrive, Kate invited Zara to her home for dinner. They needed a break from planning, Kate said. They deserved one night without worry. The dinner was perfect. Kate had prepared all of Zara's favorite Earth foods. The table was decorated with candles and flowers. The music, playing softly in the background, was a mixture of Earth and Viridian compositions, something Kate had special ordered. After dinner, they sat close together on the sofa. Kate had her head resting on Zara's shoulder, which required Zara to sit very still to accommodate the unfamiliar position. She did not mind. I have something for you, Kate said, sitting up. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small box. Zara took it carefully, opening it with her upper right hand. Inside was a bracelet made of interwoven silver strands with small blue stones. It's a friendship bracelet, Kate explained, though the term friendship seemed inadequate for what they shared. The stones are called sapphires. They match your eyes when you're happy. Zara was overwhelmed. Viridians rarely exchanged gifts except during formal ceremonies. She had no words, so she did something very human. She leaned forward and pressed her lips to Kate's. The kiss was brief, but it sent waves of sensation through Zara's entire body. She pulled back, startled by her own boldness. I am sorry, she began. Kate smiled, her eyes shining. I'm not, she said, and kissed Zara again. This time longer. Their differing biology made the kiss strange yet wonderful. Zara's skin glowed so brightly it lit the dim room. When they finally separated, Kate looked at Zara with an expression she had not seen before. You know, she said with a small laugh. Humans have a saying when they really like someone. They jokingly say we should just get married. Zara tilted, her head processing the statement through her understanding of human customs. She recognized it as humorous hyperbole. But something about the words resonated deeply within her. Viridians did not have marriage as humans understood it. They had practical, pairing contracts renewable every 5 years, yes, she said solemnly. We should? Kate laughed, then stopped when she realized Zara was serious. Zara, I was joking. We haven't even known each other that long. Zara considered this. In my culture, we bond for practical reasons, she explained, her voice soft. But you humans, you choose with your hearts. I would choose you, Kate. Not for research, but because you make me see your world in colors I never knew existed. Kate was silent for a long moment. I don't know what to say, she finally whispered. Say yes. Zara suggested. Kate laughed again, but it was gentle, not mocking. Even if I wanted to, and I'm not saying I do, think about the complications. Your delegation is arriving tomorrow. They might send you home. Human-alien relationships aren't even recognized legally. Zara had spent her life solving problems with logic, but now she wanted to solve this with her heart and her mind together. I will speak to the delegation. I will make them understand. And if they do not, I will stay on Earth anyway. I will give up my position, my status, everything. But your home, Kate protested. Your career, Viridia, will always be where I came from. Zara said, but home, I have learned, is not always a place. Sometimes it is a person. Kate had tears in her eyes. Something Zara had learned signified strong emotion among humans. This is crazy, she said. But maybe crazy is good. Zara did not get an answer that night, but as she walked back to her apartment, her heart felt lighter than it had in days. She would face the delegation tomorrow. She would show them what she had learned about humans, about herself. And no matter what happened, she would not give up what she had found with Kate. The delegation arrived early the next morning. 5 senior Viridians, tall and imposing in their formal attire. Their skin was perfectly controlled, showing no emotion as they greeted Zara in the traditional way. Elder Mox, the leader of the delegation, spoke first. We have reviewed your preliminary reports, researcher Zara. They are most unusual. Zara stood straight, keeping her own skin neutral. I have made some unexpected discoveries. Elder, you have gone native. Another delegate said disapprovingly, you have allowed yourself to become emotionally involved with the subjects. This compromises your findings. Zara had prepared for this. It has enhanced my findings, not compromised them, she replied. Through direct emotional engagement, I have gained insights into human behavior that would be impossible. Through detached observation, Elder Mox narrowed his upper eyes, a sign of skepticism. Explain. Humans operate primarily through emotional connections, Zara said. To understand them, one must experience their way of being. Their greatest technological and cultural achievements are driven not by logic but by emotional responses, love, curiosity, hope, even anger. They harness these forces in ways we have never considered. And you believe this justifies your own emotional compromise? The female delegate asked. Zara took a risk. I believe it represents an evolution, not a compromise, she said. We Viridians pride ourselves on adaptation, on finding the most efficient path to knowledge. I have adapted to better understand the humans, and in doing so, I have discovered aspects of myself that were always present, but suppressed by our cultural conditioning. The delegation exchanged glances. We would like to meet these humans who have had such an effect on you. Elder Mox said, particularly the female teacher. You mention frequently in your notes. Zara felt fear but kept it hidden. Yes, Elder, I will arrange it. Zara messaged Kate, immediately explaining the situation. Kate agreed to meet the delegation that afternoon at the Cultural Exchange Center, a neutral space where both species could interact comfortably. While waiting for the meeting, Zara took Kate to a small garden behind the center. They needed to prepare. The delegates will try to provoke emotional responses, Zara explained. They will test your reactions and mine. Kate nodded. Understanding. I can handle it. But are you sure this is what you want? If we show them how we feel about each other, they might separate us. Zara took Kate's hands with 2 of her own. I am certain. What I feel for you, what we have discovered together, is too important to hide. I will not pretend anymore. The meeting began, formally. The Viridian delegation sat on one side of a long table, Kate and Zara on the other. Elder Mox began with standard questions about Kate's experience with the cultural exchange, how she had met Zara, what she had learned about Viridian culture. Kate answered each question thoughtfully, showing the intelligence and warmth that had first attracted Zara. She spoke of the similarities between their peoples, how both valued knowledge and progress, though they pursued these goals differently. Then the questioning turned personal. The female delegate leaned forward. Zara informs us that you two have developed what humans call a friendship. She set her tone, making the word sound like a disease. Does this friendship extend beyond the parameters of research? Kate looked at Zara, who gave a small nod. Yes, it does, Kate said firmly. I consider Zara more than a research partner, or even a friend. I care for her deeply. The male delegate, named Traz, made a dismissive gesture. Humans form attachments easily and break them just as easily. Your species is known for its emotional volatility. Kate did not show anger, though Zara could tell she felt it. We may feel things strongly, she acknowledged, but that doesn't make our feelings less real or valuable. Sometimes the strongest emotions lead to the most lasting bonds. Elder Mox turned to Zara. You have spent considerable time with this human. What have you learned that justifies such extensive personal involvement? Zara had rehearsed her answer, but now spoke from her heart. I have learned that emotion and logic are not opposed forces as we have believed. They can work together. Humans use their emotions to drive their logical pursuits. Their love for each other and their world motivates their scientific advancement. Their fear helps them avoid danger. Their hope pushes them to solve seemingly impossible problems. And what of Viridian ways? Traz asked. Have you abandoned the logical foundation of our society? No, Zara said. I have expanded it. I have discovered that by allowing myself to feel, I can think in new ways, see connections I missed before my research has become more comprehensive. Not less. Elder Mox studied her for a long moment. Your skin betrays you. Researcher Zara. You glow. When you look at this human, Zara did not try to control her color anymore. Yes, Elder. I do. What exactly is the nature of your relationship with this human? The female delegate asked. Kate reached over and took one of Zara's hands. We care for each other, she said simply. We make each other better. Zara looked at Kate, drawing strength from her presence. We have formed a pair bond, she told the delegation. Though it is not yet official, the delegation showed shock for the first time, their skin colors fluctuating. Wildly, this is unprecedented. Traz said, his voice rising. Such cross-species pairing has never been documented. That does not make it wrong. Zara replied. Elder Mox stood abruptly. This meeting is concluded. The delegation will discuss this matter privately. After they left, Kate squeezed Zara's hand. You were amazing, she whispered. Zara felt both fear and pride. I spoke the truth. Nothing more. They waited anxiously for 3 days. No word came from the delegation. Zara was not summoned for further questioning. Continued her daily routine meeting. Kate visiting the school, recording her observations, but always with the knowledge that her future hung in balance. On the 4th day, she received a message. Elder Mox requested her presence at the embassy immediately. No mention of Kate was made. Zara went alone, though Kate offered to accompany her. This was something she needed to face by herself. The delegation sat in the formal meeting chamber, their faces unreadable. Elder Mox spoke without preamble. We have reviewed your case extensively, researcher Zara. We have consulted with the High Council on Viridia. Zara stood perfectly still. Preparing herself for exile, your methods are unorthodox. Elder Mox continued. But we cannot argue with your results. The insights you have gained into human behavior exceed those of all previous researchers. Your emotional involvement, while concerning, has produced valuable data. Zara waited. There was more, she could sense it. Therefore, Elder Mox said, we have decided to extend your mission. You will remain on Earth as our primary researcher with one condition. What condition? Zara asked cautiously. You will document your relationship with the human Kate. The High Council wishes to understand this pair bonding process in detail. They believe it may have implications for our own society. Zara could hardly believe what she was hearing. You are allowing me to stay. To continue my relationship with Kate. Elder Mox showed a hint of color in his skin, perhaps amusement. We are scientists. Researcher Zara. We follow the data. And the data suggests that your emotional connection, while foreign to our ways, has scientific value. We will observe and learn. The female delegate spoke next. We do not fully understand what you have found here, but we acknowledge that it may represent an evolutionary path for our species, one we had not considered. Zara felt joy spreading through her body, making her skin glow brightly. Thank you, elders. I will continue my research with diligence. There is one more thing, Traz said. Your human Kate has requested permission to visit Viridia as part of an expanded cultural exchange. The High Council has granted this request. She will be the first human to visit. Our world. Zara could not contain her happiness. This news was beyond anything she had hoped for. Kate had not told her about this request, wanting it to be a surprise if approved. She left the embassy and ran to Kate's school. The children were just leaving for the day when she arrived. Kate saw her and knew immediately from her glowing skin that the news was good. They are letting me stay, Zara said when they were alone, and they have approved your request to visit Viridia. Why did you not tell me you had asked? Kate smiled. I wanted it to be a surprise, and I didn't want to disappoint you if they said no. But I need to see your world, Zara, to understand where you come from. If we're going to be together. Zara repeated the word, feeling its significance. Did this mean Kate took a small box from her pocket, much like the one that had contained the bracelet? But this one held a ring with a purple stone. I thought about what you said, she told Zara, about choosing with our hearts. And I choose you. The students and teachers who witnessed their embrace that day, some human, some Viridian, saw the beginning of something new. A bridge between worlds built not by politics or science but by love. Their union was not recognized officially at first. There were no laws covering human, Viridian marriages, but as their story spread, others like them came forward, other species who had found connection with humans, other humans who had fallen in love across the stars. 6 months later, when they held a ceremony combining both human and Viridian traditions, the small garden was filled with supporters from both species. The human officials had created a new category of union interspecies, partnership with all the legal protections of marriage. Kate wore a simple white dress. Zara adorned herself with traditional Viridian light crystals that reflected her emotional state. The crystals glowed bright pink, visible proof of her love. Elder Mox himself performed the ceremony, speaking of new beginnings and the power of connection to transform both individuals and societies. The Viridian delegation watched with scientific interest, but also with something new, something that looked almost like emotion, as they sealed their vows with both a human kiss and a Viridian soul touch. Kate whispered against Zara's skin. Who would have thought your research project would end like this? Zara smiled, her 4 eyes shining with emotion. The most important discoveries are often the ones we never set out to find. Their story became legend. The alien researcher who came to study humans and found herself transformed by love. The human teacher who opened her heart to someone from another world. Together they changed not just their own lives, but the relationship between their species. Love, they discovered, was truly universal. A force that could cross the stars, bring together different worlds, and open paths that logic alone could never find.